Well, it's been a couple weeks now since we started this, and I have continued to build after work each day. So I kind of didn't bring you guys along, but I hope it's okay. So we've got a lot of it painted here. It started to rain a couple days or something, and then I was just working most of the day, and then have just an hour to finish. So I just kind of started working on it and not bringing you guys along. But not a whole lot has changed when we kind of dive into it since I last showed you. I've been painting it, so I've been kind of masking off the areas and painting the underside. Sanded the boards down kind of quickly, and then put some layer of primer on it, and then put some kills on it and then painted it. And we actually had some paint left over from our house, so it's the same color, just the same white. So this is kind of what it looks like now. So what I have left to do is put the wire all in here, so their porch area, put the flooring down, and then digging the trench. I'll show you over here right now. So I have kind of a trench shovel to dig this trench down, to bury some wire. I got to go a little deeper. It's about 12 inches in the ground, and then go all the way around the coop with it, attach that on, and then we can, I got to build the doors next as well, so then we can get the chickens in here. But this is kind of where we're at right now. Got the little chicken door and then the people door. So anyway, so that's it painted. So already starting off with this door, I'm running into a little bit of a dilemma how to put all this together. So I'm going to build the edges, kind of a box first, and then kind of router out the back so I can put a panel up underneath. But the hinges, so I'm trying to figure out the width of this box that's going around. And these are the hinges that we got. And so you want them to be kind of like this. This part will go on the frame of the coop, and then you want the width to encompass all of the hinge and a little bit more, so it looks nice. But that's pretty thick. I mean, that's a really wide panel, and I think the door is only 24 inches wide or so, 25 inches. So if you have this on one side and that on the other, it's about 4 inches or so. I think it would look out of proportion. I don't know, I'm just thinking that'd be kind of fat. It'd look like this stubby door, I don't know, I think it might look odd. So what I'm thinking of doing, and also by doing that, then I cut, rip this down, and I just have this little extra piece left over that I don't know what I'll do with. So what I think I'm gonna do is really just cut this in half, and that puts it right about here. And then I'm just gonna build a little decorative extra piece on the end to kind of encompass the hinge nice. So we'll see how that goes, but I think that's going to be better use of the wood that I have, so I don't have to use two pieces to just make one side of the door and then the other side of the door, and just waste a whole sheet of wood here, or stick of lumber. So I'm going to cut it in half and then go see what we're going to do from there. Alright, so I have the sides, kind of the exterior of the box cut out. I have it ripped down, so I have it ripped down to I believe it was 2 3/4 inches, and then I cut in a groove. I'm not sure if you can see this just with the table saw here, basically 3/8 wide and 3/8 deep. So that's what's going to receive the panel, is going to fit in there and be kind of nice and snug. So now I got to figure out some math, because what I'm planning to do is use this channel to, I don't know what it's called, but to make the top and bottom pieces kind of, router out the bottom part of it to kind of make them fit snug. I'll try to get a better shot of that later, but I gotta do some math. It's 25 inches wide is the door, what I want to make. So it's actually 25.5 inches is the opening. So I'm gonna cut it down to 1/4 inch on each side, front and the back. That should be fine, just to make so it's nice, smooth operation. And nothing can get up in there, 1/4 inch, hopefully. So 25 inches wide, then I subtract, 2 1/4 minus 2 1/4, so that's 5.5 inches. And then you have to add back in this 3/8 inch in the groove for both sides. So 25 minus 5.5 is, what is that, 19.5? And then you add in 3/8 plus 3/8, so that's 3/4. So 19.5 plus 3/4 is 20.25. Should be the total length of the top and bottom parts of the door. So 20.25. I'm gonna go write that down, be sure that's right, do that math. Looking at it instead of in my head. So I'm gonna make some cuts now and try to make all the sides and the top panels for the door, and we'll see how that comes out. So now that I've cut everything down, I've got the, the groove in the main piece here. This is the main side, and this is gonna be the top and bottom. And so if you can tell all the what I've cut, but the same groove out here, I gotta clean up a little bit. And then I routed out this side, or just used a table saw to kind of cut that piece off, and so that fits. So you don't have a. So here, let me get this piece. That way, when you put it on, on the top here, you don't have this groove that's got a gap here. Instead, you put this piece on, and it slides right over and makes a nice joint. So I'm gonna go glue that, and then get some, my Craig jig and do some pocket hole screws in there. I'm gonna go find a better table to put this on. I don't have any workspace right now that's nice and flat that I can get all this square, and then glue it in and screw it together. So, you can make the groove on the long piece, and then you can make all your shortcuts to make sure that groove is the same everywhere, and then you make the other kind of the opposite cut on the ends and put it through. And I checked my math again, and I did it okay, but ended up, after you put all of it together, instead of it being 25, it's like 24.75. So I'm not going to tell anybody, but I think it's close enough. I have got the trench dug around the coop. Kind of did this earthwork, I guess you'd say, while the door is being stained and letting that dry. So I've dug about I guess 12 to 18 inch trench around the coop that I'm going to bury some wire. Ran into some interesting stuff around the backside. This large tree root here that I'm going to have to kind of go up, over and around. And then I found a cinder block foundation wall or something that was here, so I kind of busted through that, continued on around, and got our dog Blackbeard here. What's up, buddy? So I got some more trenching all the way around, and then in that that foundation wall came out the front, of course, right where the door was. So busted through that, so I'm going to put the wire down in there. So next I'm gonna put the wire down in the trench and staple it to the house, and then eventually I'll be putting a piece of trim and screwing that into the house over top of the edge of that wire, to just to kind of make it secured from other animals and these guys right here. Well, after about a month or so of finishing this up, I just didn't film myself getting these last finishing touches on, so I'm going to bring you around on a tour now. So right now you can kind of see a lot of it is done, and we're going to go on a quick tour of the coop here completed. So starting off, we have our front door. I'm going to zoom you in here close to this door that we finished. Here's that joint I was talking about earlier that you can have the groove cut out on the back of the long side here, and on the top we cut the groove kind of on the opposite side, and so it fit into it nice and snug. So I was talking about the box that it made. So you make kind of the rectangle around it first, and then I got some plywood that was pine from Lowe's, and then cut these X's across here, so that gives it some sturdiness to it and just makes it look nice. And so when I was talking about the hinges, well, the X made a extra place that I can put the bolt in. So or the screw in for the hinge. So it actually worked out pretty good. So you got one on the top, one on the bottom there. And the gap on the side isn't too bad. It's maybe about 3/8 on each side, and nothing can get in there anyway. So anyway, so here's the door bottom piece, and then I made the top, hardware cloth attached to it. So it's attached to the back, so when you open the door, I'll show you here, the screen comes with it. So it's a kind of a one-piece door there, and then the top can close on its own. So it closes like in the winter time when we want it to stay warm in there, and it'll latch, there at the bottom. But right now, since it's ridiculously hot, I'll leave it open, and that way you can let some air in, and but they're still protected, from mainly our dogs, is what it seems. Right now we'll just walk inside and I'll show you what we got here. So walk in here and keep the dog out while I lock the door. So I've got some windows here, and you can see that I just cut them and put hardware cloth from the outside, so it gives a nice draft through. And then I haven't put this door in yet. I have the chicken door in. Then we'll come over, I have the waterer, and I'll show you that. And then I have the food hanging from the ceiling here. So, and then another set of windows, and then their roosts for the night. So we have those sitting there and just screwed in, and they all use it, so it's just kind of nice. So go here to look at this watering contraption. I have 4-inch PVC. It's about 4 feet long. It comes down to some reducers, and then it gets into these cups that they peck at, and they put water in there. Right now you probably can't tell, but there's about just a little bit of water in the bottom, and that just gives them enough to try to fish for it, and then they hit that water. So it works out pretty good. It took some training for them to get used to it, but I think they do use it a decent amount. I have another one on the outside, and we'll go through that, and I'll show you that one here in just a minute. But I have a clear tube that's just a 1/4-inch screw on one side that I drilled a hole into the PVC, and then a 1/4-inch barb fitting on the other. And that clear tube, we'll see where the water level is. You can't really tell, it's right there. But that way we can just look in the coop and see how much water this has in it. So that way we don't have to, kind of look in the top and check it. But this is their porch area, all screened in, and then the opening here that's going to go out, and I'm going to cut that a little bit bigger. And there they are. So there's another waterer over there that works out pretty well, and then I'll show you, the run that we have going on. So here's Rhett, really wants to get at these chickens. So I have another waterer out here, and what we've found is in the summertime that the inside just wasn't quite enough, and so we felt better if we had one out here as well. And so we got these different kind of cups, and I'll try to link to them in the description below. But they basically, the water goes in there, and then the weight of the water weighs the cup down, and it closes the, kind of compresses the spring, and it closes the valve. So these work pretty good. I think they like these better because there's standing water in there more often, as you can see here, and they come get this more often. But kind of the same situation is, it's a 3/4-inch pipe, and then I have this T fitting, and then just a end piece that kind of fits into the T, and then drilled a 3/8-inch hole and screwed these things in there. So nothing really on the other side. It's just screws in, and they don't leak. Actually, I don't think these leak at all. The one inside I think drips every now and then, but this one doesn't leak. So then you have so from a 3/4-inch fitting, and it kind of expands up to the 4-inch. And same thing, I got the tube on the outside, so you can see what it looks like, and it's just, you know, zip tied. And then, and it's about a 4 foot, 4.5 foot long tube, and it lasts about 3 days, I would say, with 11 hens here. So 3 days, and then we have to come refill it. So, and it's pretty hot down here. It's in the 90s, so I could see them getting this water pretty often. You can see them, they're using it there right for the camera. Good job, ladies. Okay, so the run is 10 feet wide by 20 feet long, and I think it works out pretty good. They're in here a lot, and you know, I have 4x4 posts, and they're spaced, I believe, every 10 feet on the back, and then on the front here just a little bit extra for just one extra piece for the door to get in. So everything is just chicken wire around. I used 4 foot tall chicken wire and just strung it around horizontally, and then the posts are 10 foot long posts, and they're sunk 3 feet in the ground. And then I have a they're sticking up 7 feet, so that's nice for me. That I'm not ducking to get in here. So it's just 2 rows of chicken wire that will get me to the top, and then I have you really can't see, but this like wire mesh. It's about, I think it's 2 inches by 3 inches up here, and it's pretty sturdy. And my neighbor actually had some panels of this, so I didn't have to go buy it, but it's pretty sturdy, so it kind of holds its own shape up here, and it's wide enough that it allows some leaves and things to fall through. So so far so good. The issue I had was tying this back to the house, which was kind of a let's say it was fun. Continued on to this, you know, stapled it to the front of the house, and then you kind of have to go around the roof line here, and then I screwed this board down to the top, and so the wire comes from the top straight down to here. So it kind of, you know, makes a triangle piece here at this end where it meets the house. It's kind of the best I could do, I think. It's really not an easy way of tying this square into this sloping roof. I didn't want to tie it in underneath the roof. That would kind of square it off, but it would also just add a collection point for leaves and things, and then all the water to run onto it, maybe rust over time. So right now this is our run, and I think they like it. I'm going to be putting some of this concrete cylinders I got from work around the bottom. That's kind of keeps the dogs from getting real close to the fence, and really, I guess, just discourages them from trying to dig under it. But I did bury the wire about 12 inches. So burying the wire and putting something in front of it that's heavy kind of discourages the dogs from getting into it. So so far so good. That's the end of part 3 of this chicken coop build. I appreciate you guys sticking with me for these 3 parts. This was kind of a journey for us, kind of a big project here on the property, and appreciate you watching and learning as we go. And hopefully I'll be sending more updates as we go with these ladies, and that they, you know, the eggs they produce and just the fun they have with our kids and stuff. So if you have any questions, just, you know, put it down in the comments below, and maybe I can you know, make another video of things that I missed or whatnot, or specific items that you'd wanted to see. Hopefully I'll do another update maybe a year from now or something and see how they're doing. So anyway, appreciate you joining me, and stay tuned for more videos.